we were concerned about not having a group of people that thought and were wary of the idea that we were trying to build something for ourselves as opposed to a real, legitimate, owner-focused and owner-purposed organization. And as we had spent the past 10 years in building our owner practice, we had spent a lot of that time speaking to groups, both in seminars that we were doing, in conventions, meetings, and other groupings, literally all around the country. We literally spoke from Alaska to Maine to the Virgin Islands, all involving the matter of construction owners and how you go about dealing with disputes and resolving disputes before they begin. And in doing that, we had gathered a fairly significant mailing list of people that we had in one way or another contacted or come in touch with during that 10-year period. So we decided to have a preliminary mailing that we sent out to about 1,000 or so contacts that we had. The purpose of the mailing was to inform the people we were mailing to that of generally what we had in mind, what we were about, but also the fact that we just weren't sure that there was enough interest to warrant the effort. So we included in the mailing, in the envelope, a self-addressed, stamped return card asking the people receiving the mailing that if they were interested in learning more details, learning in great detail about what we had in mind doing, to fill out the card, drop it in the mail back to us, and telling them that we would then send them a detailed, complete packet of material outlining all of our intentions as to what we wanted to do with this association and how we intended to form it. We sent that out, as I recall, sometime around May of 1994. Well, I'll say within the next 30 or so days, we did get about 400 to 450 responses, positive responses on these cards from people telling us they had an interest in such an association. And with that, I really felt we were at a point that we could take the next step. So we put together then a packet of information and material in which we attempted to spell out to this, I'll say, universe of 400 or so people, how we envisioned an association of owners functioning. We made clear that we had no intention of governing or running that association a day beyond the last day it took to get it on its feet and running, so that it could run itself. We wanted it to be an association run by and for owners and owner representatives, not the lawyers. We also noted that we would invite associate members, that is to say, folks that have an interest in the construction process but who are not owners, to become associate members, but that we would restrict the membership of that group to, as I recall, about 1 for every 5 members that the association had in regular members, so that at gatherings of the association, the regular members, the owners, would not be overrun or feel like they were under siege from the associate members trying to sell them something. We said to the recipients of this mailing, this was not just an outline, but a detailed mailing as to what we intended to do. We said that if you are still interested and if you would like to be a charter member of this association, please send us your check for $300, which was to be the annual dues. And if you send us that check, we will, and if we determine that we get enough interest in that manner to start the association, we will use those funds as the annual dues and as the seed money for the association. If we don't get enough interest, we will promptly refund your money to you in full. And as a result of that mailing, in pretty short order, Well, let me interrupt myself and say we had internally thought that if we got as many as 100 checks, and we kind of thought that was a litmus test, people putting their money where their mouth was, so to speak. If they were willing to put up their money for the first year's dues, they were likely to become members. And so we had set the number at 100, that if we got 100, we thought we at least had a good shot at maintaining the organization and making it go.